What is good? What is happening, everyone? I'm your boy Ferris Muthana, and welcome to another great episode of The Open Table. Yes, you saw the thumbnail. You know who our guest is. It is the one, it is the only Jose from Lunch Break High Tech. Today, we'll be talking to him about life beyond YouTube. We may touch on some YouTube, but on this show, certain weeks, like we said last week, 1 week, it's going to be me and Adelia. Following weeks, it's going to be me talking to people that I want to know I want to know more about. We're going to dissect him in a formal, friendly, homie type way. Because I like to get to know my friends and the people around me more than usual. And I want to share them with the world and how amazing they are. So let's get right and started, everybody. It is none other than one half of Lunch Break Hot Tech. We already got Rodney. Now we've completed the duo. He's the one, is the only. Jose Garcia. Jose, how are you, my man?
What's going on, Ferris? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man, great to have you on. You know, it's always great talking to you. We talked last night, kind of jibbed at you a little bit. you know, told you I was scared, but I'm not.
Okay.
I just deeply respect you. Pretty much.
I appreciate that because Rodney is a scary one.
Yeah, he's a little bit. Yeah, he gets a little aggressive. He gets a little aggressive. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it is. So Jose, man, like we said, you know, you've been on the show with the crew, but now it's just you, and I want to get to know more about your journey and who you are. Right?
Okay.
You know that you reside in Baltimore. You're a Ravens fan. Did you grow up there?
Well,
did you move around? Because Rodney said you were kind of military brats growing up.
Yes, we were military brats. So I live right outside of Baltimore in Howard County, Columbia, Maryland. Mm-hmm. You know, because you've been in my house.
Yeah. Hey, man, great house, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, we were military brats. So, you know, we've moved all over the place. But I usually tell people I'm from Maryland because when my parents retired from the military, this is kind of where we settled down. Mm-hmm. So, yes. Yeah, I'm from Maryland.
Mm-hmm. Was that military routes? It feels like a lonely existence, right? You know, you're hopping, from base to base, town to town. You can't really form long, meaning connections. And and now, nowadays we have different forms of communication for people, to talk long distance. Back then we didn't really have any. How was that experience for you? Because Brady ended up telling me he just kind of stopped making friends and kind of just didn't really care anymore. Was that kind of the similar for you?
Well, no, I mean, Rodney's a little bit more of an introvert than I am, right? Mm-hmm. I'm a little more outgoing. Our older brothers are a lot more outgoing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, we made friends. And it sucks every 4 years, we have to pack up and move. But over the years, I was able to keep touch with some of my friends, childhood friends, not many, a handful here and there. But our family we're big on family. So, as long as we have each other, that's the main thing. And we kind of, we keep ourselves grounded. But once we settle down here in Maryland, I mean, I said, like, this is pretty much where I grew up from the time I was 12 years old. So I have a lot of friends that I've known throughout high school. I mean, and some of them, OTR Mike, I've known him for over 20 years, the whole OTR crew. Yeah.
When I pin him down.
Yeah. So, I have a lot of friends. We have a lot of friends. That's the thing. You leave old friends, you meet new friends. As you become an adult, even people that you grow up in the neighborhood with, sometimes you grow apart from them and you meet new people. So, that's just part of, life.
Yeah. Well, OTR Mike, OTR Quan, that you kind of know them for more than over 20 years. Mm-hmm. Have they kind of stopped being friends? And are they kind of like extended family?
Yeah. I mean, you guys I always call my brother, right?
Yeah.
I said, our brother OTR Mike. We don't say our friend OTR Mike. We say our brother OTR Mike. So yeah, absolutely. We all hang out. I mean, in fact, we'll probably hang out this weekend. Our kids know each other. We do event. We plan things together, birthday parties and whatnot. We keep our families, close together.
Not Jay. Sorry. Thank you, Jay, for the compliment, Jay, by the way. Jose. I can also call you Jay, but it don't make no sense, though. That just don't sound right. Zay sounds better. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm still with Jose.
You can call me Zay.
You know what? I appreciate you, man, because I know that's a nickname your brothers Mike gave you, and me, you got to earn that, right? You can't call people. Well, what I mean, I'm Ferris to people. You know what I mean?
You're my friend too. So you can call me Zay. Yeah,
I know. I got you. Thank you. I'm just saying, but I had to earn it. I couldn't just call you Zay right away.
No, not everybody can call me Zay. No.
Exactly, man. You got to earn it, man. People used to call me Pookie, and not anymore because those people are no longer in my life anymore. You know who
the first person to call me Zay was? It wasn't Mikey.
It was Brandon.
It wasn't anybody in the OTR crew. No, it was Bradley.
Okay. It was Bradley.
When he was a baby, he couldn't say Jose, so he just called me Zay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Growing up, they called me Curly Fries.
Curly Fries.
Yeah, only a select few could. You know what I mean? I actually like the nickname.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I had a couple of nicknames growing up. I had Curly Fries, the Truth, the Bruiser. You know what I mean? A couple. Basketball.
From when you play football, or
the
basketball?
Bruiser was basketball. The Bruiser was basketball. Getting down and dirty with the rebounds, throw a little bow here and there, shove a couple kids, fight like Dennis Rodman type. That's what I was. I was a power forward.
Okay.
I was a power forward, man. That's why I fought. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
The problem is, Adelia, I don't have curly hair anymore. I kind of miss it though. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss it.
I thought it was because you like curly fries. See?
No, I had curly hair. I kind of had a Jerry curl without the activator.
Ah,
yeah,
okay,
I kind of did.
Okay.
You know what? I looked amazing. Looking back on those photos, Jose, how like you look back on photos of your young self, you're like, oh no, me? I look back, I'm like, yo, that's a handsome young man right there.
Man, bring him
Look
back.
At that, man. Look at, you know what? I'm thinking about it.
Should do it.
I'm gonna let it curl. I'm not gonna straighten it out. I had the brush, I straightened it out. It's too straight. I need a little curl.
Curl it.
I mean? I'm gonna curl it, dog. I'm gonna curl it. I swear to God, I will. I swear. Yeah, you damn right, Jay Wood. You're damn right, it would. But let me get back to that, because I always say this all day. Blood don't make family, right? But sometimes blood family screws you over more than people you don't know, right?
Yeah.
But in your case, your family had a strong base, and you had that, but you also added non-blood relatives into the family. Is that kind of, a great way of looking at life?
Well, I mean, your blood is your blood. You can't change that. They're still your family. You may not, you may not mess with them, but they're still your family. That's one thing. But yes, that it extends beyond that. You don't have to be blood to be family, obviously. B's father is my stepfather. We're not blood related, but that's my dad. We talked about the OTR crew, and just a bunch of our other friends that we have here. Those are my brothers. So yeah, I mean, yeah, family is what you make it, but you got to be careful how you use that word family. Don't use it too loosely. That's got to be somebody that that you trust and that you know what I'm saying? You're not, the first sign of trouble, you're not going to, run away from them or whatever. You got to have each other's back. So
cool. Yes, Adelia, fine. You can call me Curly Fries if you want to. Fine. You can. If you want to, fine. I mean, guys can call me Curly Fries. Let's talk about growing up, Jose, in the Baltimore area, right? We talked to Hendo. He lived in Baltimore City proper, right?
Yes.
Did you live, so how was it in Howard County, like the county and the city? Was there a difference? Was it the same? Like, what are we looking at here?
Oh, a major difference. I mean, Howard County, I mean, it's one of the richer, I think it might be the richest county right now, either them or Montgomery County. But very nice neighborhood, Columbia. Columbia is a very diverse city. It was planned that way. It's a planned city. The person who built the city, Jim Rouse is actually the grandfather of Edward Norton, the actor.
Oh wow!
Yeah, his grandfather built this city, and he planned it that way. He wanted a diverse group of people. He wanted rich people and poor people to live together. So, even though it's a wealthy county, there are areas where you see, that lower income people live in, because they allow for Section 8 housing and whatnot in these areas. They wanted poor people to be in a nice neighborhood and get a good education. So I love it here.
High schools, where we went?
Long Reach High School.
Reach.
Long Reach, not beach. Long Reach High School.
Long Reach.
Me and B graduated. My class was actually the first graduating class, 1998. It was a brand new school when I went there. Mikey, he graduated from Howard. OTR Brandon went to Wild Lake, and OTR Quan went to Wild Lake as well. Wild Lake's a popular school. A lot of athletes have come out of Wild Lake High School, and River Hill, like, you know, in terms of football.
Got you.
Yeah.
You play any sports, Jose?
I did a little bit of boxing. It wasn't tied to high school, but when I was in 9th/10th grade, I did a little bit of boxing. Then we came back to Maryland. That's when I was in the Virgin Islands. My first 2 years of high school, I was in the Virgin Islands. Then I came back up here.
Okay.
Did track, and then I tried out lacrosse for a year. It was fun, but I could, you know, it was hard cradling that ball in the net. It was the easiest thing. But yeah, you know, I play sports. I played amateur football for the Baltimore Sharks when this is after I got out of high school. This is actually after my military career. Tried them out for 2 years just to get that experience.
See what happens. Yeah.
But you know, it was a good experience. Yeah.
You said you were at the Virgin Islands for the first years of high school. How was that going? You know, in a sense, like off mainland to the Virgin Islands and territory. Like, how did you operate that way?
I mean, it's not our first time being on an island. We lived in Hawaii for 4 years before that. We moved a lot of different places. So I mean, it was fine. You know, we were there for 2 years. You know, that's where our family is from originally. So
St. Croix?
Yep, St. Croix. St. Croix and St. Thomas. That's where most of our family is at. But yeah, St. Croix. That's where my mom is born. That's where my biological father was born. You know, my sisters, they're not related to B, but my sisters and my oldest brother, you know, all from St. Croix. You know, and we got countless cousins, cousins, aunts, uncles, and whatnot. So it was cool.
Yeah. How's the vibe on the island, man? Is it kind of like, I feel like Bradley told me it's kind of laid back, you know, it takes a minute to get stuff, like you kind of just, you know, just kind of chilling through life. Is that what the feeling you got growing up?
Yeah, yeah. I saw when you said it. Yeah, that's accurate. Accurate. It's a lot more laid back type of culture.
Yeah. No Amazon 2-day delivery. You know, that don't mean
no.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because you know the Virgin Islands were like, you know, they were in the news a couple years ago, you know, when the hurricanes hit. And,
you had Hurricane Hugo was a big one. We were there for the second big one, Hurricane Marilyn. We were there for that. That was in 96, I want to say.
Okay.
That was right before we moved back up to Maryland. Yeah, and we were out of power for weeks. Which was pretty light compared to Hugo. Hugo, our older brothers were there for Hurricane Hugo. They lost power for like 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that communicating with them? How are they operating? How are they feeling? You know what I mean?
How was Hurricane Hugo or how's Hurricane Marilyn?
Maryland first, and then I want to operate with Hugo then after that.
So I mean, I was Hugo. I was still a kid. You know, I don't remember that. You know, I wasn't there for that. My brothers would have to speak more to that. But Hurricane Marilyn, man, it sucked. Like we had been in hurricanes before because we lived in Hawaii. We were there for Hurricane Iniki in Hawaii. But Hurricane Marilyn in particular, like just where we were staying at the time was like a very small house, right? It was like a little subset of one of my aunt's houses, right? We're kind of in between places. And the way like her house went, like you go from the main house and you walk down these stairs to our house, right? But like you're walking right into the kitchen. The kitchen leads to the front door. You know what I'm saying? Like we got some rooms in the back or whatever. It's pretty tight. But when the hurricane hit, I don't even know if B remembers this, but when the hurricane hit, right, water started coming down from the stairs into the kitchen and started filling up everything, right?
Oh.
And I mean, like everything got damaged. And I remember because we had to wait until the eye of the hurricane hovered over us, so it calmed down. And then we had to open up the front door, and I had to get buckets and just get as much water out as possible before it started back up again. It was a mess. It was a mess. So yeah, you know, but you know, we made it through that. You know, made it through not having any power for weeks. weeks, but you find things to do, man. You got your friends and family there. As long as you got your friends and family around you, you can make it through anything.
Stick ball outside, shooting hoops.
Yeah, football, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever we can, get some batteries and we listen to the radio,
Oh, nice.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, Isaiah, you said something that kind of piqued my interest. You said after my military career, when you talk about your amateur football, so you joined the military just like your mother. And what branch were you a part of?
The Air Force. Yes.
Air Force? So
my mom and my stepdad were they were in the Navy, so we were Navy brats. Our two older brothers also did Navy.
Shout out to Omar.
Yep, Omar and Al. They both did Navy. My biological father was Army. Our grandfather was Army. We come from a military family. Our grandfather served in World War II. But Air Force was something that me and my parents had talked about even before I even really considered going into the military, because I didn't go right into the military right out of high school. But they talked about if I joined the military, Air Force would probably be the way to go, and get a job with a security clearance, because that pays well, whatnot. So when I decided to join the military, that's the route I went.
Yeah, I found out that my grandpa, they're now called Merchant Marines, but I think when he was doing it, they're called Maritime Marines. I mean, they brought supplies and resources to everybody.
Yeah.
And for me growing up, I'm like, man, that's kind of a dangerous job, because in war, how do you destroy an army? You go after their resources, and the people who give them resources so I'm like, he fought in Korea, I think. He told me, he said he was in Korea, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on it. He did tell me he fought in World War II, but now I don't believe it because, the math ain't mathing. The problem is, he's Arab, and he probably lied on his birth certificate like they all did back in the day. Because he was actually born in the 1890s. Wow. But on his ticket it says like 1911 or 20 or something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it happens. It's bookkeeping in Arabia in the 1800s. Right. Not the best, I guess. So, my grandpa, I honestly don't know how old he was when he died. I don't think my dad and my uncles do know either, because they're like, we don't know, because we actually don't know his age, because the paper, we have all this paperwork, but it's the paperwork that he gave, the information he gave the American government. Yeah. But shout out to my grandpa. Never met him. He died before I was born. But I hear stories. Like there's a story once, he gunned down in a helicopter in our backyard. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's a story I like to tell. And apparently a piece of the helicopter is still in the ground in the backyard while I was growing up, and I never knew it.
Really?
Yeah, that's stories they're telling me, Jose, growing up. You know what I mean?
You should look for it.
I should have. Never did. I was too busy running away from bulls. So you know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, that story's real though. I got chased by a bull. That story's real. I was in charge of bull duty. Me and the ranch. We had like a farm.
So you raised bulls?
We had a bull. One bull. We had cows and goats and chickens.
Okay. Gotcha.
I grew up on a farm. I don't look like it. Because I live in a city now. But I'm very comfortable. I'm very comfortable on a farm if I need to be. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I had a friend in the military that he was literally born on the farm.
Yeah.
Right in Minnesota. Shout out to my man Andy.
Yeah.
If he watches this, Bertha, Minnesota. Okay, a small town in Minnesota, and we used to joke around with them and be like, "Hey Andy, when you needed milk, did you go milk the cow so you had milk for your cereal?" And he'd be like, "Yeah." I did. Yeah. Actually, yes, I did. I didn't know you're joking. I know you're trying to tease me, but yes, I milked the cow. We had our own eggs from the chicken. Like we got everything from the farm. Absolutely,
I'm with you. We had big old just bottles of just milk, and we just go outside and get some. No, the bull did not give me wings, Jay. Thank you. Come on, man. Come on.
Jay's in rare form tonight, man. Shout out to Jay.
Exactly. Yeah, he's on fire. He's on fire. But yeah, man, I'm a farm kid. I was actually born in my living room.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was. I didn't make it to the hospital. My mom, we didn't make it. So I was born in the living room. So
Okay.
Well, that's the story they're telling me. You know, I'm just telling y'all the stories I'm being told growing up.
you didn't remember it. Okay.
I don't know. My mom told me you were born in the living room, Fattest, and I'm like, cool, awesome. You know, and it wasn't in the hospital. You know what I mean? That's dope. You know,
Yeah, it is.
Getting chased by a bull, being born in the living room, getting hit by a car.
So how did you survive the bull attack?
It was shot. Someone shot it.
Oh,
a Trent gun. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, we can't. You know, what I mean, we still need it.
Yeah.
So, you know, what I mean, so it breaks the barn door, and it charges us, right? And very rickety barn door. We should have not put it there, but we had to put it somewhere. It goes after our ranch hand first, hits him, and he gets sent flying, and then it goes after me, and I dive right. As I'm diving right, it on my legs, like it stomps me out, but that was it, just my legs, and then it keeps like going. It just runs away. That's how I survived it. It just ran away, and then we then had to go after it. Like the grown men had to go after it, not the 8-year-old. The 8-year-old was like, I'm going to get some cereal. You know what I mean? You guys go get the bull. So
I need a Band-Aid and some Cocoa Puffs.
Exactly. Like, you know what I mean? So they then go after it. They tell me they got it. They told me they shot it, but I don't. And then they're like, it's asleep. And then it was put back to a better barn, and I never saw it again. I once picked out a goat from a goat auction.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they killed the goat. I ate my goat, dog.
And then you ate it.
I ate my goat.
That's so messed up.
They fed me my goat, Jose.
Did it traumatize you?
Yes, because it was delicious. It was delicious.
When you sit there crying while you eat it, like,
it's like, oh my God, this is amazing.
It's so good.
It's so good. I'm so sorry. But I digress. So the Air Force.
yeah, the Air Force.
You don't hear a lot about the Air Force, really. It's always about the Army, sometimes of the Navy, even like in the football aspect, right? The big game is beat Army, beat Navy. It's the Army Navy game. They don't really care about the Air Force game like that. The only time I hear about Air Force is Top Gun. You know what I mean? Like, what do y'all do there, man? Y'all just be hanging out, flying jets, fixing jets, and some statistical analysis. What are we going on?
So all the branches nowadays do the same things, right? For the most part. Air Force doesn't even have the biggest fleet of planes. It's actually the Navy, right?
Oh,
yeah. But yes, your Army and Marines, they're more your ground troops. They're kind of like the first line of defense, so to speak. So their recruiting is always I don't want to say priority, but like they always need people. Okay, so that's why you see more of you see more commercials for Marines and Army and stuff like that, because they had to meet their quotas. Okay, like I have some Army friends. I have a friend that was a recruiter for a while, and it was a stressful thing because they always had to try to recruit people. The Air Force quota is much smaller, right? So they don't need as many people, and the threshold to get in is a little bit higher. Jobs a little bit more specialized, but like I said, they all have these jobs in every branch. Like the missions that I worked in the Air Force were a joint service. So I worked with Army people, I worked with Navy, I worked with Marines, I worked with all of them. One of my supervisors, for the mission I worked at, one was Army, at one station, one was Navy. She was a chief in the Navy. So it's all kind of the same. Like we had different practices in terms of how we're trained and whatnot and protocol, but the job's the same.
Did you also do the hopping around just like your parents did? How often did you move from base to base in the Air Force? Because they were Navy, but you're Air Force. Did you have to also hop around as often as them?
No, I only did. I did a little over 4 years. But no, I was stationed in San Antonio, and I got married. And after I got married, she was stationed in Georgia, and we got joint orders to come back to Maryland, to Fort Meade. and I just finished out my time in Fort Meade. So yeah.
How was the experiences in those areas? You know, like different cities, but you're on the base. San Antonio's cool.
I love San Antonio. You know, a nice laid back city. You know, they love their Spurs. They love their Spurs. But no, it was cool. And then of course, you know, for me, I mean, I'm from the area. You know, actually, you know, before we moved back to St. Croix, my parents retired out here at Fort Meade. We lived in Meade Heights, right outside the base. So I mean, very familiar with the area. No, you know, it was fine. It was fine. Like it wasn't like a shock to the culture or anything like that. We're used to moving around. So.
You only spent 4 years. Why is that long in Air Force time, or is that short in Air Force time? Why no, 4 years? It's short.
So 20 years. If you do 20 years, you can retire. You can get a pension, right? I never wanted to make it a career. Right, I knew that when I went in, I only wanted to do 4 years. If I liked it, you know, I'd be open to staying. But I only wanted to do 4 years because, you know, yes, I grew up in a military family, but I wasn't going to let somebody, you know,
dictate your life.
Yeah, like kind of dictate what I did. Like, you know, if you had the right, you know, commanders, supervisors, and whatnot, it can be fine. But you got a jerk that you're dealing with. He can make your life miserable, and I just wasn't for that.
So after that, what were you looking for after the 4 years? What were you looking for? Because I know you're in IT now. Was that the original thing?
No. So I went in there mainly to get my my security clearance, and I became a defense contractor. So and that was the other thing too, because you know I knew I could make a lot more money outside the Air Force. So that's what I did. You know, I got a job with General Dynamics and started working for Department of Homeland Security. Did that for a little bit, and then somebody that I knew in the Air Force recruited me to come back to Fort Meade as a contractor. I worked for another small private company and did missions for NSA on Fort Meade.
So when did you become like the IT and you got away from the contracting? Like when did that happen?
Yeah, so you know, spent some time you know at NSA, and then you know, like contracts come and go. You know, there's all kinds of politics involved. So my company lost the contract for the last job I was doing, and you know, it's one of those things. It's like you're used to that, right? Like you know, you lose a contract, you might go from this company to another company. They'll pick you up. Like I think what are they called now? Lidos. They used to be SAIC. You know, they were trying to pick me right up, and I was just kind of tired of it. You know, I was just like, man, I don't want to. I like the missions. I didn't like all the red tape. I didn't like all the politics behind it, and I just wanted to get out of it. And I was working with a lot of you know, computer guys, you know, like cybersecurity folks, you know, systems analysts and whatnot, and you know, they kind of taught me into the IT route. So that's where I started to venture off into, and now that's what I do.
All right, now Jose, let's get into it. We're talking about your career. Let's talk about interests and time for laying back, right? Big fan of the Baltimore Ravens. You love football. When did that love happen, right? You also played amateur football. When did you get the bug?
So I mean, we grew up watching football because you know our dad watched football. One of our older brothers, he was a big 49ers fan. He still is. So we started watching football from a younger age. I actually started out as a Raiders fan because when I started watching, I was in Hawaii. So most of the people down there, they rooted for the Raiders. Then we moved to Maryland, and we moved here right before the Ravens got here. So they came to town right after we got here, and I wasn't immediately a fan. I was still a Raiders fan, but you know, over time, you know, you root for the home team, you know, and I was kind of rooting for both.
Speak for yourself.
Well, yes, yeah, yeah. You know, over time, I just kind of started rooting more for the Ravens. Said, hey, you know, look, this is my team. Forget the Raiders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it because the Raiders ended up becoming unwell run? And
yeah, Al Davis was crazy. Al Davis he was just, you know, he was crazy, man. He was losing it, and I was just like, he doesn't care about running the team, you know, like he cares about winning little petty beats and whatnot, but he doesn't care about winning anymore. Even though that's his slogan, just win, baby. He wanted to win his way, you know. And you know, you don't owe these teams anything. Me and B say this all the time. You don't owe these teams anything. All right. This unwavering loyalty, despite how they're managing the team, despite the fact that sometimes they show you that they don't really care about winning. If they don't care, right? Why should you care? Why put so much energy into a team that doesn't really care about you? You know, so if you feel like your team is doing you dirty, man, leave. Root for somebody else.
My team used to care. They used to.
Yeah.
And now I think they care. They're starting to care again.
So for you, because you're a Giants fan, right? You've experienced a lot of winning, right? You guys have what, 3 Super Bowls? 4? Yeah.
And I was alive for 2 of them.
You're alive for 2 of them, right? They weren't that long ago, in a little while.
No, not really. I still remember them like it was yesterday.
Me too. Yeah. Me too. So it's easier to swallow when your team is going through bad times, where you can remember it wasn't that long ago we won 2 Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? That's a little bit different.
I just chant Chase Blackburn to myself every time I'm mad. Chase Blackburn, Chase Blackburn, Chase Blackburn, because he had one of the greatest plays in the Super Bowl where they chuck it. I think it's 2011. Brady chucks it deep, and Chase Blackburn. You know how, so like in football, and I learned this the hard way. When you're playing linebacker, right, and there's no one in your zone, you get depth. You don't guard grass, you get depth, and you get deep. In that Super Bowl, no one was in his zone, so he got depth, and he kept getting depth. And then he got to the point where Chase Blackburn was so far downfield, he was next to our safety, and he out jumps, I think, Aaron Hernandez or Rob Gronkowski. I think it was Aaron Hernandez, because Rob Gronkowski had broken his ankle because, Bernard Pollard.
Yes.
So I think, and Chase Blackburn just snatches it from the air, and I'm like, what just happened? And then we proceed to scored another touchdown, and Eli Manning throwing probably the greatest throw in Super Bowl history. You may hate Eli Manning either way, but that throw he threw to Mario Manningham down the sideline, between two defenders.
That was on the dime.
Yeah, that was in his hands, feet down. It's one of the greatest. Like, that throws better than the Tyree catch, because Tyree was all about the catch. The Manningham one was the throw.
Tyree was more memorable because of how it went down, but that throw. Whew.
Yeah, and I'm not tooting my Giants horn heroes there, but I haven't seen a throw like that since in the Super Bowl. Like, no, there hasn't been a throw where you're like, oh snap, you know what I mean? Where it was perfect. That throw was perfection.
Yeah,
I mean, so yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what happens when I see 4th and 12 and they go for a QB sneak inside our own 20. I'm like, Chase Blackburn. You know what I mean? So like, yeah. So no, I'm with you, man. We don't owe them anything. You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like, I think there's a problem like this in baseball where they do revenue sharing, and the Oakland A's owner took advantage of it, and he says, I don't care that my team is bad. I'm getting millions upon millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And then he's blaming Oakland fans for not showing up. And he's like, then I have to leave because you guys are not showing up. Because we're like, you're not putting a good product on the field.
Right.
Why, 1,000 people show up to an A's game? 4,000, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, the fans don't care. Like, no, they care, because when they were good, they could have sold out Mount Davis. They could have opened up the top deck, and we'd be more fans. Yeah. A lot of A's, the Oakland loves their baseball. They do, because fun fact about the city of Oakland has produced mad baseball players, and most of them become Hall of Famers or memorable players. Ricky Henderson, Frank Robinson, Dave Smoke Stewart. A lot of them become Hall of Famers, or they're Dave Stewart, where they're memorable, solid pitchers for 10 to 15 years. Yeah. Oakland don't produce scrub baseball players, in history. So there's that. So
the thing about revenue sharing, like it doesn't incentivize, teams to win, really,
No, it doesn't,
because they're going to make money regardless.
Yeah.
And that's why I always say, like, these people, like, they don't always know what they're doing, right? Like, they have money, they know they're gonna make a lot of money, and they just keep the team running. But that's not running a successful business, right? You're putting out a bad product that people don't want to consume, but it doesn't matter, they're gonna make money anyway. Whereas any other regular business, if you don't put out a good product that people want to consume,
no one's gonna buy it.
Nobody's gonna buy it. You know,
that's why I say, you know, with love,
Mm.
the stupidest sports fan is an American football fan. I say with love
in the world, because soccer fans are crazy.
No, they're crazy, not stupid. They're crazy.
I don't know, man. Like, I mean, I've seen in games somebody threw a grenade on the field, bro.
No, exactly. They're crazy. Exactly. That's the thing. Crazy. But let's just say if a soccer team operates the way, you know, give me a habitual loser in the NFL.
But soccer has a different system, though, right?
Yes.
You get regulated down if you're too bad.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what needs to happen here.
I'm with you. They don't incentivize losers. You can't lose, and there isn't revenue sharing. No. You don't revenue share. You make the money. You make your money, right? That's why certain clubs are richer than other clubs, because they're like, we're making money, more money than you, because we know how to operate properly. Yeah. You know, in the NFL, you have a bunch of teams who aren't very good. The Jets, the Jaguars, the Browns, Detroit for many years. They didn't care about winning. Yeah. You know what I mean? They didn't care. But they were getting the Commanders. They were getting they were getting like over $500,000 a year, because the NFL made $14 billion a year. And Dan Snyder, the Fords, the Johnsons, the Haslams now, but the former Browns people, the Cons now, or in the former Jacksonville, they're just counting money while you keep showing up to games.
Yeah,
I get, you know what I mean? You know, and they always threaten to leave. Oh, if you don't show up, we're gonna leave. Yeah, Kansas City is doing that to their city. They're threatening to leave to Missouri. Yep. Or no, from Missouri to Kansas. Kansas trying to steal the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Come to the Kansas City side of Kansas City.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's all out work. That's why I'm saying, like, you know, they don't hold them accountable, and they always buy their merch. They always go to games. They buy tickets, and you're just kind of just like letting them, like, you're okay with losing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't blindly follow anybody. Like that's one of the things, you know, some of the Ravens fans around here don't like that watch our shows. When we criticize the team, they think too much. I don't think it's too much. You know, I think it's fair criticism, but they're like, oh, are you even a Ravens fan? Yeah, I'm a real fan, because I want them to win. I'm not going to sit there and just watch them just, you know, squander opportunities to win the Super Bowl, right? And then, you know, when our windows close and we're not winning, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh yeah, you know, it's just, you know, we're just rebuilding it. You know, it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. Like, I'm not spending my money on that. I'm not wasting my time on that. You know, like I got things to do myself. You know, so if you're not gonna put forth your best effort, I'm not gonna put forth my best effort. And even if you are, and if it's not good enough, then I'm gonna be honest about that.
Yeah, it's not good enough. Yeah, because it's the age-old question, Jose, that I like throwing to football fans. Would you want 10 years of garbage with a Super Bowl championship in the middle, or you want 10 years of good football, but you win nothing?
No, I need that Super Bowl.
A lot of people choose that Super Bowl. A lot of people choose that. They get that one Super Bowl run. You know, because there's a lot of... Go ask a Cowboys fan how happy he is. You know what I mean? For 20 years.
The answer is, give me the Super Bowl and then go win another one.
Exactly.
Right?
That's the real answer.
That's the real answer.
That's
like,
it's not
it's not one or the other, because Ravens fans will ask that a lot too. Like, oh, you know, we won a Super Bowl not that long ago, and you know, we compete, you know, like that's better than most teams. Yeah, well, I want more, right? I don't compare myself to the Browns, right? I don't compare this team to the Jaguars. I don't compare this team to the Raiders, you know, like these teams that haven't won anything, you know, ever, you know, except for the Raiders. But you know, that was decades ago. But you know, I don't compare this Ravens to those teams. You're supposed to be better than those teams, and I expect better from them.
Yeah, the Chiefs, they win 3 out of 5.
Yes,
win some 3 out of 5.
And ask a Chiefs fan. I mean, ask anybody. Do you think that's the last Super Bowl they're going to win?
No, they want more.
I don't think so either.
And fun fact about them, they won it with the worst ownership, apparently, according to the NFLPA. They have an F owner.
Yeah.
He's like dead last. You're like, wait, then how are you guys winning? if you guys hate this man, like, you know, the NFL grades. I looked at the NFL grades. I'm like, their owner's an F.
He put a great GM in charge of it and stayed out of the way.
Exactly. They're like, this owner's, well, I think the GM was like a C or like a B or something, you know, so it was like, yeah, you know, but the head coach was an A+.
Yes.
Of course. I mean, but like, imagine, you know, even if you hate your owner, you still got to go win.
Yeah. The
Chiefs did. And you're like, come on, man. What's up with this? You know, like if you don't like John Mara, you know, I don't think he's the worst owner in the NFL. I think he's kind of, you know, he's a second son. You know, most businesses, when they reach the second generation of the business, tend to fail. A lot of the times that happens. And he's, you know, the second generation because, you know, his dad ran the team when he got it from his dad, Tim. Tim bought it. Then Wellington started running it, and Wellington died in 2008.
Yep.
You know, or like, well, I think was it? No, it was like 2009, 2010. And then, you know, they won 2011 with, well, when he was already passed away, God rest his soul. But his mom was still there. You know, then his mom passed away. Then he didn't have anybody. Then it was just his show. Him and his brother weren't running it right. They weren't running it right so bad that the other owner had to come in and say, "Hey, yo, what's up?" Because Steve Tisch, he left it all to Wellington. You know, he just, you know, I think people forget about the Giants is, I think they're the only team in the NFL where it's 50-50 ownership. There are two owners, and it's split down the middle, 50%.
Right.
Like most NFL owners, it's one person, you know?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? You know, like Bisciotti, you know, the Haslam and, you know, McNair or the Rooneys, it's one Rooney. In the Giants, it's Tisch and Rooney. Tisch and Mara. Mara operates the football. And Steve Tisch was like, "Hey man, you messing this up." And he came in to talk. He was like, "Hey, bruh, what are we doing here?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's when he knew stuff was bad, when Steve Tisch came around. Steve Tisch, he making money. He makes money by making movies. You know what I mean? That he just owns the Giants, but his main income is, I make movies.
Right.
I just own the Giants. You know what I mean? You know, I'm making movies here, dog. So like, yeah, there's that. But now, Jose, you know, we're getting down towards, you know, the last about 20 minutes of the show. I want to talk about something a little bit more personal, man. You know, talk about family. You know, you said you were married. Got any kids? You know what I mean?
So married and divorced. Soon to be married again. I'm engaged now. You met her too. You met my family, man. You family now. You meet my family. You family now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know, I know the answers. I'm just talking about, you know, they don't know the answers. You know, I gotta ask questions I already know the answers to, because people don't know the answer.
Engaged now. You know, you guys heard me mention April's name before. Shout out to April. Okay. Yes.
Lovely woman.
Yes. Thank you. You know, we have a son together, Jacob. That's the assistant producer of Lunch Break Hot Take and Ring Kings podcast. I also have 3 other children from different relationships. So you know, 2 boys, 2 girls in total. Yeah,
that's nice, man. Are you you know, because you said growing up, man, it was all about family and the connection there, right? Are you passing it down? You know, how often do you emphasize, "Hey guys, you know, we ride together. You know what I mean? We're right here."
That's how our family is, you know. And they'll hear that from me. They hear that from my brothers. They'll hear that from my sisters. Like, family comes first. Their best friends are each other, you know. So they spend the most time together around each other. They'll have friends, you know, here and there, but they know, you know, they come first. We emphasize that. We're always going to emphasize that. My 2 daughters, you know, they're teenagers now. They're older, so I kind of, you know, try to instill that in them more as they, you know, start to head out the house and become young adults. You know, I want them to understand that, you know, you always gotta stay in touch with your family. You know, my older nephews from you know, Omar's sons, they're young men now, and they understand that too. You know, and they're doing great things, but they still, you know, make sure that they stay in touch with the family. In fact, our nephew Sadiq just threw a little Father's Day get together for us at his apartment. You know, but that was pretty cool. So shout out to Sadiq for doing that for us. You know, but yeah, you know, stuff like that. You know, that's big for us, and we're always going to emphasize that.
I you know, Do you try to shield them from the world, or do you be like, hey, the world's going to teach you something? You know what I mean?
No, as they get older, you gotta let them know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have more. Some things they're just not going to understand until they get out on their own. But I start to have those conversations with my daughters. Jacob is still young, so he's I just let him be a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Anita and Kaya, I have more adult type conversations with them, and they're teenagers, so they're only going to listen to so much from me. And I tell them, I say, okay, I'm not going to beat you over the head with this because you're not going to listen, but you have to trust me in the fact that I know what I'm saying because I've been where you've been. You haven't experienced what I've experienced yet. I've experienced everything you've experienced. Okay. And when they get out there in the world, they'll understand. When they come across situations, let me know, and we can navigate through that, or just try to remember what I try to teach you.
That's wonderful, man. That's wonderful. Honestly, Jose, man, it's been great talking to you.
As always, man.
It has been, and I'm be real with you, man. I feel like we've come down to the end of the road because I ain't got nothing else, man.
Hey, it's all good, man.
On that note, everyone, thank you guys so much for joining us. You guys had a wonderful day or a wonderful night. Hope you guys enjoyed this conversation with me and Jose, and hope everyone stays calm and cool and collected. Mainly, stay smooth. Jose, where can people find you, my man?
Hey, I'm one half of Lunch Break Hot Take. I do a show with my brother Brodney every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. We follow that up with the Overtime Show, which you can find on our Patreon at patreon.com/LBHT Show. Also, if you are a boxing fan, we do a podcast with our brother, OTR Mike. All right. It's called Ring Kings Podcast. We just put out a video. It's about 2 weeks ago now. Right. We're going to record some stuff this weekend. It'll be out later on next week. All right. So we're active there. And you can follow us on social media at LBHT Show, wherever we have social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're everywhere at LBHT Show and at Ring Kings Pod.
All right, y'all. Y'all listening to Open Table on Let's Get Ready Network. We're at 951 subscribers, guys. We're 49 away from 1,000. So make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for all the support. You also have a Patreon, patreon.com/LGR_network. If you want to join, $1 gets you into the Discord. $5 gets you into game nights. All I got to say is this, guys. I'm not going to toot my own horn. The best tier, $15. Yeah, I said it, $15. Because it gets you everything, right? Because 5 and 10, we also got, the pick'em leagues as well as fantasy football we have coming up in a couple of months for the American football season. But $15, you get to dictate some content. You get to request a video we make on this channel 1 month. One of our pages named Brandy, she requested me and Justin to talk about soap operas. And there's a 30-minute video where me and Justin talk about soap operas. Yeah, we did. We talked about The Bold and the Beautiful, Days of Our Lives. What are the other ones? Are they you soap operas?
General Hospital.
The ones on CBS. The Young and the Restless.
One Life to Live. Did you say One Life to Live?
No, not yet. No, One Life to Live.
These are all ones I remember from when I was a kid.
Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, One Life to Live. A bunch of them. The great actress, her name was, I think, I don't know, some Tucci or Christina Tucci or something.
I don't know.
Out there. I think she had like 30 Emmys nominations and like 2 Emmy wins.
I can't remember their names.
Me neither. There's too many of them. But that's the point. You can join the Patreon as well. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a wonderful night. And guess what? We'll see y'all next week. Adelia's back. So make sure
Welcome back, Adelia.
Welcome back. All right, guys. Stay safe. Peace out.